Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Thursday. It is May 11th, 2023. My name's Jeremy. This is my first cup of coffee. Who is here? Who am I saying good morning to? I want to say good morning to Brian and Brian again and Jenny and Dennis. Brian, thank you for watching on the YouTube channel, the new YouTube channel at First Cup. It's funny. I see that you're there, but it doesn't show it in the viewers. It's so weird. I don't know if we blame YouTube or StreamYard, but we're blaming something. And there's somebody on Twitch who is not commenting. I love hearing from all of you. I love knowing who's here. It really does make a difference for me. You know, this is not a show where we have thousands or even hundreds of people watching live. So to have, we went through a phase where we were about 24 that we would have live, and that was great. But most of the time we have somewhere between 8 and 12 people live. Awesome. I know most of you, and those of you I don't know personally, I've gotten to know because of this show. So it's kind of like you step into a room full of friends, announce yourself. Don't just hide in the corner playing with the dog, which is what I often do in real life. Let me know that you're here so I can be happy that you're here. Thank you, Brian. I hope everybody had a great Wednesday. I did, Good morning, Rebecca. I wonder if you've all had the same experience. I got started yesterday with my day and got to the office probably about 8:45, maybe closer to 9. My first client's at 10:30 on Wednesday. And I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't. And I thought, okay, all I have to do is work with this client. And then there are a couple things I have to, and I'm going to call it a day. And as I got going and I built some momentum, the day got a little easier. Started getting some stuff moving. Day got better. I had lunch. There was a dog in the office. But the dog wasn't friendly, so I couldn't pet it, which was sad. And then I realized somewhere around noon, 1 o'clock maybe, I was good. That I just bared down and got through it. And I did some good work. Did some work on Marshall Summit stuff. Did some work on the family page, which if you have not checked it out, you're in for a treat. Did a number of things yesterday. And so once I realized, hey, today's not that bad, I went until almost 4 o'clock. 3:45, I think I called it good. And it was good. I just needed to get through that valley, that dip in my emotional state. Brian, oddly enough, no, it does not. Good morning, Nathan. Jenny says that Wednesday was a good day. Lots of outside time, plus an awesome Superfoot Dojo class, along with our own pineapple pizza loving Dennis Campo. I'm glad that you're doing that. I'm glad you're having some fun with that. Nice. Coffee. Came home, sat down, watched a little bit of TV, cleared my head, and my shoulder's still, it's better. It's better today. I did some work on it last night. It needs more work. It's an angle I can't really get to, which is a bummer. And had this argument with myself about whether or not I was going to watch more TV or go for a walk. And I fought with myself for a minute. And I said, you know what? I can always watch TV later. I've never regretted not watching TV, but I will regret not going for this walk. So I got up and I grabbed my earbuds and I walked a couple miles. And it took about 50 feet before I felt better. You know, and I think that this is a recurring theme for me, and I suspect for many of you. And I think it goes along with the conversations we've been having lately about comfort, that it's easy to remain comfortable. This is where Newton's first law, object in motion tends to stay in motion, object at rest tends to stay at rest, unless acted upon, blah, 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 blah. But people will correlate that to just kind of human life, right? If I'm sitting on the couch, the likelihood that I'm going to stop sitting on the couch and get up and move is kind of small from second to second. It takes a fair amount of energy to do that. But it was worth it. This is why on weekends, if I'm working in the yard, I rarely stop. I work and work and work and work and work and work, and I'll come in and I'll take a break, but I rarely let myself sit on the couch because the couch is comfortable. And we know what comfort is, right? Comfort is the beginning of death. Now, what about today? Today is all clients, new client even, a new client that I've been looking forward to working with. This one will be a challenge. It's part of why I took this client on. Because in case you don't know, I don't take on everybody. I only take on clients that I think I can help. Because I have 100% track record if I look back. And I was actually thinking about it the other day, or yesterday. It's been a long time since a client and I parted ways. Because I've gotten good at noticing, this isn't going to work. I would rather have someone say, he didn't want to work with me because he said he didn't think he could help me, than we worked together for a few months and I didn't see the benefit. My reputation is worth more than the money. But it is Thursday, so we have an episode of Martial Arts Radio. And let's see what it is. Jenny says, comfort is the beginning of death. Well, dang, as someone who wears yoga pants, even when she isn't doing yoga, I feel some type of way about that. Are you always in yoga pants? Are you only in yoga pants? Do you have a difficult time trading in the yoga pants for your, in Jenny's case, dobok and getting some training done? If the answer is yes, then maybe you should take a break from the yoga pants. Or maybe some of your other clothes need to be a little more comfortable. Or maybe both. All right, what do we got for videos here? We've got Kid Games for Martial Arts, episode 813. An episode where we sourced some information from a few wonderful folks, avid audience members. And Andrew and I talk about games. And yeah, the episode is focused around kid games, but we talk about games and why they're so important, why they are tied into our humanity, and how, games are an incredibly effective way of learning. Spoiler alert, neither of us feel that games are, or rather should be, exclusively for children, because we all learn better when things are fun and game-like. It's called gamification. There's a reason that most of us play games on our phone, or the things that aren't games, like Facebook. Did you know that Facebook will hold back on some of the notifications for you? Because they want to make sure every time you go in there and you look at Facebook, there's a notification. Because that's kind of like a game, and your brain treats it like one. Rebecca says, rough mental health Wednesday. Seeing my martial arts family helped later in the day. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you had that support. And Jenny acknowledges, okay, I do wear my uniform quite often, so there's that. Good. Mm-hmm. So you can check out that episode. It's on YouTube. It's the audio's in your podcast feed. And as always, if you have stuff you want to contribute to the show, whether it's guest suggestions or topic suggestions, or what I wish we had more of, feedback, constructive and positive. Hey, Jeremy, Andrew, I really like this episode that you did on this subject because of blah, 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 blah. I took a look at the numbers and I posted it, I think it was yesterday in the Martial Arts Radio group. We've had over 1 million downloads. And I meant to make a bigger stink about that as we hit the 1 million mark. But we hit the 1 million mark like a month ago. And I missed it. Because I don't check the numbers very often. I used to check the numbers all the time. I don't do it anymore because they drive me nuts. We'll have a great day, like Monday. Monday was a great download day. And you would think, oh, because we released an episode with a guest who is well known, Dimitri Daniels, aka Jay Jackhammer. And I would say, that makes sense, except that's not what happened. When I looked at the numbers, Dimitri's episode was between 20 and 25% of the downloads. I don't know why. So I don't really look at them very often. We just do what we've got to do. And that's why I missed it. Love to hear what everybody's doing today. Once I get out of work, I am unclear. Am I going to go to the gym or it's nice out. And as I was doing some work inside yesterday, just kind of putting some things together that need to go into different spaces, I realized, it's time to start doing some spring cleaning. There's a lot of stuff out in the 2 garages that need to go. And it's time. It's time to get rid of them. So I'm thinking about that rather extensively. All right. Frank sent some stuff over. We're going to talk about that. Thank you to Frank for all your work on the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. And thank you to Denise for the audio feed. Where am I going? I'm going over here. Come on. And there we go. This is rendering funny. Here it is. To be normal is the ultimate aim of the unsuccessful. When we're not good at something, we just want to be average. Yeah. Here's the problem. Contentment with being average is probably the attitude that made you unsuccessful. Settling. Never settle. In anything. And here's why. When we settle, when we agree to settle, well, I guess that's good enough. We're telling the world that we don't actually deserve what we want. And the more we say that directly or indirectly to the people around us, the more they listen. And we condition them. I want this, but it's okay if I don't get it. They're not going to give you what you want. If you're used to not getting what you want, you live a life that doesn't get what you want. You accept it. You don't fight for it. I know a lot of people like this. That they get into some groove that is acceptable. They have a job that they don't really like, but they don't hate it. Or at least they convince themselves they don't hate it. They live with a spouse that they tolerate, but because, there isn't physical violence or anything truly emotionally disturbing, they remain there. And they placate their life with food or alcohol or some other drug. But because they have a couple bright spots in their week, they call it good and they think that's how life is supposed to be, and it's not. Now, I know I won't be able to convince everyone to suddenly wake up and fight for a life that they deserve. But I hope for those of you that are watching or listening, you'll recognize that you do deserve what you want. And it is hard to get what you want. And it does take time and energy. But what else are you going to spend that time and energy on if not what you want? What else is worth spending that time and energy on? Sitting on the couch. What was I watching this? I was watching, it was on a sitcom episode from yesterday, day before, that I was watching. Do not go gentle into that good night. If you're going to sit, if you're going to be unsuccessful, give what you have to reverse that. Good morning, Frank. Jenny says, I took that a different way. Maybe those who are standing out are taking criticism from the naysayers and quote haters. Maybe the outstanding are so uncomfortable with the negativity that they would rather just be normal instead. And I could see how you're getting there. But we're not talking, but the quote is not to be normal is the ultimate aim of the ostracized or the odd. It says to be normal is the ultimate aim of the unsuccessful. Unsuccessful suggests that one has a vision of success and is not achieving it, has not achieved it. And if the goal there becomes normal, they're not going to achieve it. They don't believe they can achieve it. It's okay. We're allowed to read these differently. I share my interpretations with you. Number 2, to ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. Anybody who's ever spent any time seriously looking for something in a search engine or working with an AI program knows that very well. Or perhaps you had a very literal, weird teacher in school. The best example of that, can I go to the bathroom? Yes, I'm sure you're able to go to the bathroom. May I use the bathroom? Yes, you may, right? How many of you had a teacher like that? And of course, there are more reasonable examples. When we ask questions in a martial arts context, many of the questions we ask that I've seen people ask, they fall into 2 categories. How could I get some information that downplays the importance of this thing that is difficult for me to do or to learn? Do I have to know this for my next belt? Sort of a deal. Or how would I use this? Because if it's not necessary for my next belt and it's not something I would ever use directly on the street, then maybe I don't need to justify learning it. Except there are plenty of reasons to learn things. There was an exchange going on back and forth on TikTok yesterday. Somebody had put up a video of a very impressive multi-board break. And as you might imagine, someone posted the comment, "Boards don't hit back." And after a couple back and forths, I realized that the person who left that comment was a rude putz. So I posted a response. And my response was very similar to other videos that I had posted. Not everything we do in our training is directly applicable to self-defense. Sometimes drills are drills, and they benefit aspects of what we do, not the entirety of what we do. Strength training is not directly applicable in that model to a street confrontation, nor is hitting a heavy bag because it doesn't punch you back, nor is spending time working on a single technique in the air because no one's trying to get away from you. If the question is, how do I train in a way that prepares me best for the street? You can see that all of those things have value. But if your question is off, if your question is, how do I most train like a street confrontation? Your entire class will be someone coming up behind you, shoving you into a wall and beating on you. It doesn't really help you that well. Dennis has two more board comments. And the boards are pre-broken. The boards were baked, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and boards actually do hit back. Everything hits back. It's called physics. Equal and opposite force. Just how it goes. And Dennis says, my heavy bag has hit me back because I aspire to not settle for normal. Love it. And our last quote here. We are not what happened to us. We are what we wish to become. Let me say that one more time. We are not what happened to us. We are what we wish to become. I continue to beg of you to fight for what you want, to find your why with your training and in other, aspects of your life, and to commit to living that why and not compromising on it. If your why for training is you want to be the best in the world, okay, the best in the world at what? Figure out what. Probably figure out what rating system, what competition you want to win, whatever that is, and then work on it. Most goals are actually quite simple, not easy, but simple. If I wanted to be a movie star, not one of my goals, but let's say I did, the path there is pretty simple. I take acting classes. I audition for acting gigs. I audition for more acting gigs. I audition for more acting gigs. And at some point, one of those will pay off. Now, is there enough time left in my life that those will pay off? Who knows? It's a roll of the dice each time. If I'm not getting any success there, maybe I keep taking classes. Continue to improve your skill, continue to audition, right? Those are the two things. If you want to win a martial arts competition, you continue to compete and you continue to work on your skill. Compete, work on your skill. If you want to be vice president of a financial services company, you apply for jobs and you work on your skills. Noticing a pattern. You have to continue to improve your skill and take the risk. A lot of us don't take the risk. A lot of us, because we're not going to take the risk, don't improve the skill. Here's a secret for you. Most of my clients, yes, we're working on marketing things and technical things and all sorts of stuff like that. But for almost all of them, the main thing that I provide is support. I'm a cheerleader, motivation, because we all need that. In the absence of that, things don't work. And it's really difficult to motivate yourself. It's really difficult to feel supported when you're solo doing something. How many of you train or have had a time in your life when you trained and the people around you didn't understand why you were so dedicated to what you're doing? Looking at who's here, Jenny's married to somebody who trains. Dennis is married to somebody who trains. Rebecca's son trains. Brian's got kids who train. Existing in that kind of vacuum where people around you don't train can be really difficult. I've lived that. In fact, my last really significant relationship, I was off doing my own thing. She was off doing her own thing. And it was because the relationship wasn't very good. So I get it. A lot of my own thing involved training, by the way. Find your why. Live it. Share it with the world. The world is better for doing so. And it says, the family that trains together gets stronger together. Yes, they do. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Just a reminder, because a few of you were in here, the all-in weekend code. Don't share that with people who didn't go to all-in weekend. We've got one person. Okay. Andrew solved it. We had somebody sign up and I did not recognize their name. So I think we're good. All right, Andrews. Thanks, Andrew. All right. Okay, few things for you. Go check out the family page, whistlekick.com/family. I put something new up there for you, and I think you might like it. You can also pick something up using the code FIRSTCUP15 at whistlekick.com. Get yourself one of the cool limited edition t-shirts that are up there, or maybe get a $5 swag pack. People haven't bought a swag pack in a little while. That's interesting. You can also get a dragon hoodie, because if you live in the Northeast, you'll have opportunities to wear a hoodie year round. For those of you who don't live in New England, you may not know that it was below 40 degrees today, and there are people still driving around with snow tires on, mostly because they didn't plan ahead. And if I was to go camping, regardless of season, I would be bringing sweatshirts with me. So that's fun. We also have some sparring gear. I got a sparring gear order to fulfill later today. And I think that's it. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow for our Friday show. Take care, everybody. Peace.